explaining the controversial life of Emperor Qingzu Zhu Di in one breath. Can you believe it? This prince who kicked his own nephew off the throne became the most valiant emperor of the Ming Dynasty. This tyrant who made Fang Xiaoru's family of 10 die with him still created a cultural treasure like the Yongle Encyclopedia. Zhu Di's life was like a controversial drama written with blood and achievements. He pretended to be mad and tricked Emperor Jianwen, then turned around and gathered troops to march south. Zhu Di had just turned Nanjing into a slaughterhouse, then sent Zheng He's treasure fleet straight to Africa, while shouting to restore the old system of Emperor Hongwu. He was secretly changing all the rules that Zhu Yunwen set. This usurper who at 64 was still chasing Mongols on the plains. How many secrets, argued over for 600 years by historians, did he hide? Zhu Di's controversies started the moment he was born. He claimed to be the son of Empress Ma, but the Nanjing Taichung Temple Chronicle hides a shocking secret. His real mother may have been a Korean concubine who was killed by Zhu Yunwen after giving birth to him. This shadow of illegitimacy was like a thorn in his heart. When Zhu Yunwen passed the throne to his grandson Zhu Yunwen, Prince Yan, Zhu Di, watching from Beijing, turned his eyes towards Nanjing. His hand clenched the riding whip so tightly that it turned white. When Zhu Yunwen ascended the throne, he immediately began to cut down the power of the vassals. 5 of Zhu Di's uncles were either deposed or committed suicide. When it was Zhu Di's turn, the 40-year-old prince went on a drunken spree in the streets of Beijing. He rolled around in the mud pretending to be mad. Yet secretly he was making weapons and training assassins in his palace cellar. In the first year of Jianwen, he raised the banner to remove the usurper, but everyone knew the so-called removing the usurper was just a cover-up. The imperial proclamations of the Ming Dynasty clearly state that the vassal prince must have an imperial decree from the emperor. What Zhu Di held was only his self-forged excuse. The Jingnan Campaign lasted for 4 years, every step soaked in controversial blood. Under the city of Jinan, Taishan hung Zhu Yuanzhang's memorial tablet on the city wall, but Zhu Di dared not fire a shot. At the Battle of Dongcheng, his trusted follower Zhang Yu died in battle, and he almost became a prisoner himself. It was thanks to his son Zhu Gaoshu leading the cavalry that he barely escaped with his life. The harshest part was when he entered Nanjing. He allowed his soldiers to set fire to the imperial palace. Emperor Jianwen either perished in the flames or fled as a monk. This became the biggest unsolved mystery of the Ming Dynasty. Some say he had no choice. Emperor Jianwen was already cutting down the vassals and wielding knives. If he didn't rebel, he'd die. But more people cursed him for violating the law of the dynasty. After all, Zhu Yunwen was the heir chosen by Zhu Yuanzhang. Zhu Di's sword not only shattered the throne, but also the foundation of the clan-based system. After ascending the throne, Zhu Di used a bloody purge to show the world what an emperor's ruthlessness really meant. Fang Xiaoru was summoned to write the imperial edict. This tough guy insisted on cursing Zhu Di as the usurper. Zhu Di sneered and said, "I'll wipe out your entire family." Fang Xiaoru stubbornly said, "Try it. I dare you." The result, 873 people related to Fang Xiaoru were bound and executed. Fang Xiaoru watched as his relatives' heads fell one by one, until he was finally executed by slow slicing. Qi Tai and Huang Zicheng were skinned and stuffed with straw. Tai Xian had his ears and nose cut off and was forced to eat them. Even former officials who had resigned were dragged back from their homes and beheaded. But in the midst of this massacre, Zhu Di also showed surprising rationality. Xia Yuanji, the head of the Ministry of Revenue during the Jianwen period, had once cursed him for treason to his face. Yet because of his financial skills, he was spared. Later, Xia Yuanji became a loyal official in 3 consecutive reigns. This logic of follow me or perish has caused endless debates among later generations. Some say he had to be ruthless to stabilize imperial power. Others say he was inherently bloodthirsty. Every major action he took was like a stone thrown into history, splashing up scornful voices. The relocation of the capital to Beijing. Even today, people criticize him for exhausting the people and wasting money to build the Forbidden City. He had timber shipped from Yunnan. A single pillar required thousands of people to carry it for 3 years. To bring grain to Beijing, he conscripted 160,000 laborers to dredge the Grand Canal. Just completing one section of the canal caused the deaths of 30,000 men. But this decision, which was criticized as draining the empire, gave the Ming Dynasty the confidence to say the emperor guards the nation's borders. In the 14th year of the Jingtong reign, the leader of the Walla tribe, Yesuan, captured Emperor Yingzong and broke the wooden fortress. Hundreds of thousands of Ming soldiers perished. Their cavalry was closing in on Beijing. In the court, Su Yozhen and others shouted for a southward retreat, wanting to repeat the tragic fate of the northern Song's southern migration. Had Zhu Di not moved the capital to Beijing, the Nanjing court might have packed up and handed over half of the empire. In this critical moment, Yu Qian sternly rejected the idea of retreat, saying, "Anyone who proposes retreat can be executed. The capital is the foundation of the empire. and if it moves, the entire empire is lost. He supported Prince Cheng's ascension to stabilize people's hearts. Using the Grand Canal that Zhu Di had built, he rushed troops from Hunan and Shandong into the city overnight, and seized grain from the Tongzhou granary to store it in the city. In October, outside Beijing, Yu Qian, wearing armor, sat at Dishing Gate, setting up a trap with artillery. When the Walla troops entered the ambush, the artillery fired. With just a small force, they forced Yesuan's army to retreat. Later generations praised Yu Qian for reviving the Ming, but few considered, if it weren't for the frontline capital built by Zhu Di, Yu Qian, no matter how capable, would not have been able to unite the nation in such a short time to resist the enemy. Though Nanjing had the natural defense of the Yangtze River, it was still 1,000 miles away from the northern frontier. While the court debated, the Walla people would have already reached the Yellow River. It was Zhu Di's decision, draining the empire, to build the city of Beijing, which became the strongest shield in Yu Qian's hands. This decision, condemned for centuries, revealed its strategic value in times of crisis, turning "the emperor guards the nation's borders" from a slogan into the unbreakable rule of protecting the empire. Sending Zheng He to the Western Ocean also sparked heated debate. Some say it was to display China's power. The treasure fleet was 10 times bigger than Columbus. The giraffe they brought back was treated like a mythical creature, showing the world the might of the Ming Dynasty. But critics pulled out the accounting books and scolded him. Every trip to the Western Ocean cost 6 million taels of silver. That was equivalent to 3 years of national tax revenue. The pepper and sandalwood brought back didn't cover the cost. It was purely to satisfy Zhu Di's vanity. Some even say he sent Zheng He on the voyage to find the missing Emperor Jianwen, fearing that the boy might raise an army abroad. Even his attitude towards family was filled with contradictions. Crown Prince Zhu Gaoshi, so fat he needed help to walk. Zhu Di would scold him as useless. Yet when Zhu Gaoshi was repeatedly framed by his brother Zhu Gaoxiu, Zhu Di secretly protected him. When Prince Han, Zhu Gaoxiu, helped him conquer the empire, he patted his shoulder and said, "Your brother's health is bad," hinting that he would pass the throne to him, then turned around and exiled Zhu Gaoxiu to Luan. This fickle attitude made the brothers fight their entire lives, until Zhu Di died at Yumu River, and the succession struggle wasn't over yet. The most heated debate was about his 5 campaigns against the Mongols. The first 2 did indeed make the Tatars kneel and beg for mercy, but the last 3 were a bit ridiculous. At 64, Zhu Di, dragging his sick body, went to battle. The Mongols had already disappeared without a trace. The army wandered on the plains for 3 months, without even seeing a shadow of the enemy. In the end, he coughed up blood and died in the Yumu River camp. Some say he wasted resources on military campaigns, that he squandered the fortune Zhu Yuanzhang left behind, and that he contributed to the eventual collapse of the Ming Dynasty's finances. But others praised his bravery. After all, in Chinese history, few emperors dared to lead the front lines at the age of 60. He also secretly changed many of Zhu Yuanzhang's rules. Zhu Yuanzhang strictly forbade eunuchs from interfering in politics, yet he sent eunuchs like Zheng He and Ho Xian on foreign missions, even establishing the Dongchang secret police under eunuch control. Later, officials like Wang Zhen and Lu Jing caused national calamities. Zhu Yuanzhang forbade wars with non-threatening countries, yet he attacked Annam, incorporating Vietnam into the empire. Though he eventually lost, he showed Southeast Asia the military might of the Ming Dynasty. This disregard for rules made some accuse him of betraying his ancestors' laws, while others praised him for never conceding an inch of land. Zhu Di was a paradox woven with contradictions. He took the throne with the most brutal methods, yet ushered in the brightest era. He caused countless deaths, but expanded the Ming Dynasty to its greatest size. He left behind a secret police force, but also a cultural heritage like the Yongle Encyclopedia. Even today, people argue whether he was a wise ruler or a tyrant, but perhaps this is what makes history interesting. Those controversial emperors are never simply black or white. Just like the words Zhu Di inscribed on the Ming Chongling monument, "I do what I do. Let future generations say whatever they want. As long as the Ming banner still flies, that's all that matters." Do you think he was a wise emperor or a tyrant?